Hi everyone, we're going to learn how to find the measure for the reference angle for each angle. In my class, we've already gone over the unit circle a little bit, and you know that in quadrant 1 here, with my 30-degree angle here, it's my 30 degree, I know this point on the circle is square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. Alright? And we're finding reference angles between 0 and 360. So when our angle is in between 0 and 360, our reference angle is in quadrant 1. So what I can do is I can take, since this is the same triangle here, I know that this point is the same here, except my x, this length here, is negative. So it's negative square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. My y is still positive. And I still have the same triangle here. And so my point here, quadrant 3, my x and y, this would be negative 1/2 coming down here. So that would be negative square root of 3 over 2, comma negative 1/2. And this one, my x is positive, my y is negative. So basically, the reason we like reference angles is because if you know the point here, then all you have to do is find the reference angle and get these other points. You just copy this down and then change the sign depending on what quadrant you're in. Now, the thing about the reference angles is if you're in quadrant 1, the given angle, then your reference angle is the exact angle. So it is our angle, because that's by definition. Now, if you're in quadrant 2, if you want to find the reference angle, what you do is you draw straight down. You always draw straight down to the x. So here is the angle, 150 degrees. But from a point on this terminal side, you draw down to the x. That would be 30 degrees. And that's what our reference angle is. And how you do that is you get, so if your angle's in quadrant 2, all you do to get the reference angle is take 180 minus your angle. So in this case, I would have, I'll do it later, but I'll do it down here. So in this case, we have 180 degrees, this should be degrees, minus 150 degrees equals 30 degrees. So that's my reference angle. Now in your quadrant 3, okay, what happens is, this is 210 degrees. You're going to draw up to the x. So when you draw up to the x, that's 30 degrees there. And that gives you, again, your reference angle. And so to get that angle, what we're going to do for quadrant 3 is take our angle. So our angle minus 180 degrees. So in that case, my angle is 210 degrees minus 180, and that gives me my 30 degrees. And then for quadrant 4, you draw again up to the x, and that shows you your 30 degrees here. And so what you're going to do for quadrant 4 is you're going to take 360 degrees minus your angle. In this case, it would be 360 degrees minus 330 degrees equals your 30 degrees. Okay? So now we're going to get angles that aren't so nice, like the 30 degrees. And we're just going to have to determine what quadrant we're in and then use our formulas here. So the first one is 327 degrees. So basically that's in quadrant 4. And I'm going to write it as this. I'm going to write a C with the line. So that belongs in quadrant 4. So I'm going to take 360 minus my angle to get the reference. So it's 360 minus 327 degrees. And that gives us 33 degrees is my reference angle that's in between. It's in quadrant 1. So that belongs to quadrant 1. Okay? I'll just put quadrant. It always has to be in quadrant 1. Okay, 148, you know, belongs to quadrant 2 because it's in between 90 and 180. So I'm going to use that formula for that and take 180 minus my angle, and that would be 180 minus 148 degrees, which gives us 32 degrees, which is in quadrant 1. Now, the thing here is 563 is not in quadrant, in between 0 and 360, so it doesn't apply. These formulas only apply for 0 to 360. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make this coterminal by subtracting 360 degrees first. And that gives me 203 degrees. Now by doing that, I know that this now belongs in quadrant 2. It's bigger than 180. No, quadrant 3, sorry. So I'm going to use the formula for quadrant 3. And my formula is the angle minus 180. So I take my coterminal angle, 203 degrees minus 180, and that gives us 23 degrees. Okay? And here's another one. We have 420. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make this coterminal. And I have, if I add 360, I'm going to get negative 60. And I'm going to go ahead and add 360 again, because I have to get it in between 0 and 360, and it's not yet. And when I add 360 again, I get 300 degrees. Now, 360 degrees belongs to quadrant 4, so I'm just going to take 360 minus my angle, which is 300, and that's going to be 60 degrees, which is in quadrant 1. That's your reference angle. Again, for 197, where is that one? I'm just going to take, I'm just going to keep adding 360. I'm going to add 360 to this so I can get it in my domain, and that's going to be 163 degrees. Now, 163 degrees belongs to quadrant 2, so I use the formula of 180 minus my angle, which is 163 degrees, and I get 17 degrees as my reference angle. And the last one, I'm going to keep subtracting 360, so I'm going to actually subtract 720, and that's going to give me 325 degrees. 325 is in quadrant 4. So when it's in quadrant 4, I'm going to take 360 degrees minus my angle, and that gives me my reference angle of 35 degrees. And that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.